And I call the honourable member for Barker.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise today to support the Customs Amendment China-Australia Free Trade Agreement Implementation Bill of 2015. China, of course, is Australia's largest trading partner. It buys almost a third of all of our exports, valued at over $98 billion, or at least it did so in 2014. It is our top overseas market for agriculture, resources and services. China is set to remain our largest trading partner long into the future. The China-Australia Free Trade Agreement will take this essential trade relationship to a new level. This is truly a landmark deal for this nation. Independent economic modelling shows that Australia's FTAs with China, Japan and Korea will together add $24.4 billion to the Australian economy over the coming 20 years. This agreement will deliver unprecedented market access for Australian businesses and producers into China, one of the most populous nations on earth, or the most populous nation on earth, and the key driver of the global economy. My electorate of Barker in south-east South Australia is one of the most productive agricultural regions of Australia, and one of the nation's most important food manufacturing electorates. This trade agreement will deliver a new era of prosperity, particularly for our agricultural and food manufacturing sectors. Few electorates are as well positioned as mine to take advantage of this deal. From the limestone coast in the south to the riverland of the north, from the Barossa to the striking plains of the Murray Lands and Mallee, some of the best agricultural produce on earth is cultivated in Barker. This government has already delivered constituents in Barker unprecedented market access to Japan and Korea, but now we've also delivered to them a world of opportunity in China. The coalition government pledged to open up Australia for business, and today is a critical moment in that commitment. This bill delivers on that commitment. It's because of the actions that this government has taken that children in Shanghai will taste quality South Australian beef and lamb grown by livestock producers at Lucindale, Meningie and Lamoureux. Because of the coalition, 12 to 25% tariffs on beef will be eliminated within 9 years, and tariffs of 12 to 23% on sheep meat removed over 7. Women in Beijing will wear garments made of fine wool from the Mallee, where producers will receive an exclusive duty-free quota into China of 30,000 tonnes from day one of the agreement, growing to over 44,000 tonnes by 2024. Because of actions that this government has taken, the fine wines fermented from succulent wine grapes grown in the Barossa, Coonawarra, Hathaway, Riverland will adorn the tables of the middle class of China. Tariffs of between 14 and 20% on wine will be eliminated over 4 years. It is because of the actions that this government has taken that live southern rock lobster caught in the turquoise waters of Port Macdonald Road, Beachport and Kingston will be consumed in Shenzhen and Nanjing. This, of course, will be the first time that these exports will be delivered officially into these countries, or legally, and no longer, Mr Deputy Speaker, the grey trade for that industry. Huge tariff reductions across other seafood sectors will deliver great gains for fishermen in Barker. Within 4 years, 14% on abalone eliminated and 12% on fish eliminated. It's because of this agreement that our fresh, clean and sustainable seafood industry will receive the shot in the arm it needs to level the playing field in these Chinese markets for good. Due to the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement, fruit and vegetables grown on the blocks along the Riverland will nourish the world's most populous nation. Measures this government is enacting will deliver enormous tariff reductions of up to 30%. The horticultural sector is one of the biggest agri-sectors in Barker and also one of the biggest winners in this agreement. Orchardists, almond, walnut, pistachio orchid orchardists will see tariffs eliminated over 4 years, and I remind the House that the nut sector is the fastest growing agricultural export sector in the country. Citrus, a key export from Barker, will see tariffs of 12% reduced over 8 years. ChAFTA not only delivers economic prosperity but will deliver healthy food to millions. This agreement will underpin long-term prosperity in the dairy sector. Tariffs of up to 20% will be eliminated progressively. Milk from Australian cows will feed the next generation of Chinese children because of this government. Ice cream made from South Australian milk will ease hot and humid days in Beijing. Infant formula will be used by mothers across China, and cheese and butter produced with Australian milk will fill the fridges of millions because of this government's actions. It's because of this government's actions acting in the best interests of our nation and not of the unions, that the forest industry can rest assured knowing we've locked in zero tariffs on Australian wood chips. Under ChAFTA, China's tariffs on up to 20% on Australian forest products made from radiated pine will be phased out over 4 years. This is a huge win for Barker, which of course is one of the nation's forestry hubs. I'm proud to say that my constituents produce some of the nation's finest grains, vegetables, fruit, timber, meat and dairy. We have some of the finest wines and grapes in the world. I'm glad the member for Wakefield and I agree on one thing. Yet, Speaker, it is simply not enough that we produce the best quality produce if we do not have market access. For too long, hard-working and industrious residents of the Barossa, the Riverland, the Mallee, Murraylands and the South East have run into tariff barriers. For too long, unnecessary tariffs have halted economic development in this nation. For too long, tariffs stood as immovable barriers to the free flow of trade in our region. Well, Mr Deputy Speaker, I say bring down that wall. Let the enterprise and industry of the residents of Barker be rewarded with the prosperity they so deserve. This government fundamentally values individual enterprise, and it's time to obliterate the arbitrary constraints these tariff barriers have imposed on our agriculture, food and food manufacturing sectors. It is time for Australia's farmers and food manufacturers to seize the opportunities presented by the rise in China. Since the day the residents of Barker elected me, I've worked tirelessly to further their interest in this place. I cannot think of a more transformative achievement for the constituents of Barker than the finalisation of the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement. This deal is a deal that embraces the 21st century. I commend the efforts of the Minister for Trade on his industrious pursuit of better outcomes for all Australians. I encourage each and every Australian out there to make the most of the opportunities that this deal affords to them. Mr Deputy Speaker, I commend the bill to the House.
I thank the member for Barker and recognise